Okay, man, what is going on?
Oh, that's right, you're still here.
Yeah, no kidding, I'm still here. Why? Everyone else got to disappear, and I'm stuck. I'm still stuck here.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this, putting the old noggin to use. I don't think you get the luxury of disappearing, bud. Well, you see, the Toronto fan base is so rabid, and the media is so ingrained into your team that I don't think they're allowing you to disappear. It's kind of like you're in purgatory.
You think that there's purgatory for me? No. No. This is hell.
Yeah, it's probably hell, actually.
Low-quality fans of a high-quality Bruins team, that is not a dub. Not right.
Things are not going well for me in this last 24. I'm a little disheveled. Last night was a night and a half. I think we've all been there. We lose game 2 in overtime. And now, with Toronto, I was already facing this problem, but with Toronto's elimination, I'm now down to 29 applicable jerseys I can put on the wall. This is a me problem, guys. I'm just gonna talk to you about it. There are 32 locations I can put a jersey on a wall in this house. It's limited to that because my girlfriend doesn't want to feel like she lives in a frat house. I think that's pretty fair. She doesn't want jerseys on every fucking wall. The fact that I get to do 32 is a miracle. The problem is, the only things I'm accepting on walls right now are playoff teams. And I have 32 slots. I have 32 playoff team jerseys right now. But the problem is 3 of them are cursed Bruins ones that are not allowed on the wall whatsoever. And they're cursed for various reasons, but we're not going to get into that. So I'm really left with 3 blank spots. That's why you're seeing more Bruins stuff get worked in here, because I just don't have enough of the other teams to fill in. That's a first world problem if I've ever fucking heard one. Oh my god, what am I doing? I hate playing the New York Islanders! God, I hate it!
And I think I speak for all of us when I say that New York and everyone from there can fornicate themselves with an iron stick.
You know, I lived on Long Island for a couple of years. The reason I really wanted to win both the home games is because I've been to the barn, I've been to the Coliseum, and that place rocks, man. That's going to be a tough house to go in and take a game. I will say, I think we can do it. I will say we're going to need to. Obviously made tougher because they get second change, and that 4th line now gets to go up against whoever they feel like placing them against, which is just a tough ask, man. They're just really, really good defensively. Now, there's 2 ways of looking at this game, right? There's the really positive way, which is the last time we lost a game, we won 5 in a row right after it. Hey, we lost a game. Like, that happens in the playoffs. You're not going to go 16-0 or 16-1 or whatever in the playoffs. No, you got to lose a couple along the way. That's fine. There's the negative, though, and a few negatives come out of this. Let's start. So you lose home ice advantage. That's pretty tough. After the game, Rask has been very open about all the nagging injuries he's facing. That's a really bad red flag. We'll talk more about that, I'm sure. Also, you want to get more negative. The last 3 times that we lost game 2 in overtime. 2020, Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning then went on to win the next 3, beating the Bruins in 5 games. 2019 against the St. Louis Blues. Obviously, we all know what happened there. And then 2017 against the Ottawa Senators, who went on to win the series in 6 games. So, not great. All right, let's talk about this game. Rask is in net, like I mentioned. Nagging injuries, and it did show on a goal or 2. Oof. But, of course, he's our guy. On the other end, Varlamov is in net. Damn it. Look, I know that Sorokin had a bad game, but that's a good goalie. That's a very, very good goalie. And I wanted to keep facing him because at least for the first game, it seemed like he could be beat. All year, Varlamov has been our kryptonite. I believe he has above a 940 save percentage against us. I don't know about after this game, but he has been so good against us this year. And he was so good in this game. Smith is out. He's still day-to-day. God, I hope he comes back, because the second line did not look the same without him. DeBrusk slots in on that second line. He wasn't terrible. The line just wasn't as dominant as they had previously been. Kuhlman will get inserted into the lineup. He will take DeBrusk's spot on that third line. Kuhlman started hot and then fell way off. We'll talk about that. Last note before we actually go detail by detail in the game. we didn't deserve this win. Let's talk about it. Puck drops, and fourth line is going to get the start again against the Islanders' fourth line. This is just such an advantage for us to be able to toss out that line that we know never scores, but we don't care because it's wasting their best defensive line on a line that doesn't score. So it's fine. It's a wash. Who cares? So we match them up right away, and their fourth line looks better than ours. That's fine. Again, as long as no one's scoring. 2:40 in. Oh my goodness. We did not start hot. The first couple minutes were the Isles, but Cliffy and Kuhlman force a turnover, pushing the puck out of our zone into the neutral zone. Kuhlman collects and does a nice little soft dish over to Richie. Richie, head up, man. He had his head up. That's kind of rare for me to say, but he whips a perfect pass to Coyle, who's ready to enter the offensive zone in the middle of the blue line. Coyle's going to gain the zone on the left side. Letty's the only guy in front of him. He just muscles his way around him. Just goes right through him, cuts in front of Varlamov, and basically dunks it around his right leg. It was a nice push. Varlamov came out to attack the puck, attack Coyle. Coyle went right around him, dunked it. 1-0. Good start for the Bees. Now, according to NHL Public Relations Twitter, Charlie Coyle scored his 14th playoff goal as a Bruin. That passes Bob Sweeney as the most franchise playoff goals by a Massachusetts-born player. That's kind of neat. Little cherry-picked stat, but that's kind of neat. 7 minutes in, and the Isles had a really nice offensive possession, but Eberle trips Richie as he tries to go for the puck in the corner. It is a brutal moment to take that penalty for the Isles because they had so much momentum just for that shift. But it's going to go the other way. Now, the Isles kill this off cleanly. I'm not even really mad at our power play on that one. That was a really tight penalty kill by the Isles. 15 minutes in, and let's get to a little controversy, shall we? Corrali in the slot has a pretty clean look at Varlamov. Gets a shot off. Varley makes a save. Not the story. Letty comes into the slot and makes contact with Corrali, and it was high. The contact was high. No call on the play. Corrali goes down the tunnel. Corrali would return. Here's the reason why I'm okay with no call on the play. Now, a lot of people disagree with me on this, and there was a lot of social media outrage on a no call here. When Corrali went to take the shot, he went down on one knee. Letty, who let's remember, is not a dirty player. This guy has never been looked at as a dirty player. He comes through and makes contact at his shoulder height. Yes, the left arm does come up a little bit and does go through Corrali's head because Corrali's on one knee. If you made the call for elbowing, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. If you didn't, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. That is a 50-50 call in my book because he went down on one knee. It's an unfortunate result. This is that gray area of rules where you wonder if it's more about the offensive player putting himself in a bad position, but he's trying to score, play the game, or if it's the defensive player taking advantage of a situation. It's a tough play. It was quick, bang, bang, in slow motion. You can say what you want. I have a hard time getting upset about this being a non-call. I think it's okay. I think we're fine. And it really didn't affect the game that much. Let's move on. The final 5 minutes of the period were a goalie battle between Rask and Varley, both coming up big with really nice saves. You can tell they're looking down the ice and they're like, you versus me, bro. Who's gonna fuck it up? The period will end 1-0. And here we are with a dominant first period, and we actually have a lead coming out of it. 15-6 shots, 14-6 scoring chances, high danger scoring chances, 4-1. Our fourth line did not allow an attempt on net. They didn't allow an attempt. The second period, though, that got a little messy. So second period doesn't go great. 4 minutes in, Carlo does make a huge defensive play, though. It's a one-on-one with Nelson, and he comes away with the puck. That is huge. Carlo, Lauzons, they got a lot of heat for this game. Some of it deserved, some of it really not deserved. 5 minutes in, it's been all Isles, and unfortunately we take a penalty. Now, I'm not super mad at this penalty. Pasta tries to cut into the net. He's dodging a shot from the point, so he leaps. He was too close to Varley, hits him. I don't think it was intentional on Pasta's point. I think it's, I guess, a little dumb play, but look, that happens. You're in front of the net, there's contact. It's goaltender interference is what it is. You get called for it, but I'm not really mad at Pasta for taking that penalty. Puck luck, damn it! Bailey attempts a cross-slot pass while they have possession on the power play, and just a huge bounce off Lauzon goes right through the 5-hole of Rask. Not Rask's fault, not Lauzon's fault. That goal's not his fault. 1-1, about 6 minutes into the period, 11 minutes in, and we are getting smoked. Leddy fires a shot off of the boards behind the net to the right. It bounces back up to the right of Rask. Palmieri is there to just push it towards him. He just sends it into Rask's pads. Rask can't find it. He looked uncomfortable. It was a weird positioning. He goes down to try to grab it and ends up sweeping it with his own glove into the net. Really weird play. Yes, very much on Rask. He should not have allowed that goal. And it's a 2-1 lead just like that. And they are dominating this period. They deserved this lead. But it's a bummer to see that go in the net. We continue to struggle to get out of our zone. A lot of turnovers, a lot of dumps. Like, we're just dumping the puck down with no reason for it, even when we have fresh legs. And we're not getting anywhere close to forechecking after the dump in. Kuhlman, actually, who was a big part of the turnover that created the first goal for us, several times this game, just chucked the puck in with no plan. He had options, he had time. Doesn't matter, just dumps it in, and no one's there. No one gets there in time. Richie and Martin go to the box for a 4v4 for a couple minutes. That gets pretty crazy and out of hand. It's just when there's open ice with these two teams, they can fly, man. 4 minutes left, and probably the worst call of the game in my book. A lot of us are upset about this. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Komarov and Carlo are cross-checking each other after a play. They take Carlo and don't take Komarov, which is... I guess because Carlo's bigger, it's kind of the Chara thing where Chara would get called for some stuff just because he's the big guy. I don't know. I didn't like that call, and it really screwed us. But you know what screws us more is after this goal, they're now 3 for 5 on the power play. 3 for 5 in 2 games! You don't win series with a 40% penalty kill. It's a standard power play setup. They feed the puck to Beauvillier, who is down on Rask's left. He casually and softly passes it across the slot where Peugeot is able to just knock it in. Nothing Rask can do. The problem here is when Beauvillier gets the puck, Cliffy is late getting to him, allowing him to make that pass very easily to Peugeot. And when he makes that pass, Corrali's late to Peugeot. That's a defensive lapse. That is a penalty kill that should have gotten scored on. And that was with 4 minutes left. I mean, the next couple minutes are all Islanders still. There's no response. We're down 2 goals. It's 3-1. We're outplayed for the rest of the second period. We were outplayed for the majority of the second period. They deserve this lead 100%. After the period ends, Richie gets sucker punched by Pelech behind the play after the horn. It's not like something brutal. He didn't take his glove off and nail him. But no, Richie's turned away. He comes up behind him. Boom. Hits him in the side. We start the third period 4-on-4. I don't know how that's 4-on-4 after the Carlo Komarov thing ended up just taking Carlo. But again, we didn't lose this game because of the refs. That's certainly true. No, sir! We dominate the 4v4 in the third, but Farley's coming up huge. The first 5 minutes even are all us pushing. This team doesn't have any quit in them. You gotta like that. Oh, 10 minutes in, we finally get a break, man. Finally. We've had possession. We have been in their zone for about a minute with the first line. Pasta has a keep up at the right point. He is going to feed Marshy down at the right dot. Marshy just sees Bergie alone in the slot. Now, he's not alone, but he has enough space. High slot. Marshy feeds it up to him. This is a snipe and a half. That is 3-2. The captain starts the comeback. And that shot was top left corner, man. That was if Varley was going to get beat, it had to be a pretty perfect shot. 5 minutes left, and this was the moment where I thought the Isles actually blew the game. I really thought we were going to win this game at this point. The Isles get called for too many men. We've talked about that penalty. It is brutal. It's an awful penalty to take, especially with a 1-goal lead. And I thought right there, it's like, we are winning this game. They fucked it. The Isles do get a quick clear, but we're going to come right back into the zone. Mac and Marshy. Mac is going to feed Marshy on the left dot, and he's going to wait. He looks. He sees the far side, has some space. He shoots. He scores! It's a tie game. It's a tie game. Under 5 minutes to play. 3-3. We're probably going to overtime. Guess what? We literally do. And we almost biff it. Riley, the next play, has the puck up at the left point, snaps his stick, and then tries to play instinctively, I think. The puck comes right back to him, tries to play it with the broken stick. You can't do that. I understand the reasoning for this rule. It's frustrating because of how little that affected the actual play, but it's 100% the right call. So we're going to the penalty kill, in which they are firing at a 60% clip against us, and we kill it. And we're going to overtime. Overtime is 15 minutes of a goalie showdown. There are saves left and right. Rask coming up huge. Varlamov coming up huge. Look, I think they kind of outplayed us in the overtime too. They outplayed us in the second period. They outplayed us in the overtime. They deserved this win 100%. It just sucks that it was another bad bounce. Now, before we all start shitting on Lauzons, I want you to take a look at this. From Lauzons' perspective, he has seen 5 Islanders in front of him. So he no-look D-to-D passes. The right side is open. In his mind, and almost in reality, it's open. All 5 of these guys are cheating to the left. Get it to the right point. Get it on net. What he doesn't realize is that Coyle, I believe it's Coyle, is entering the zone at that exact moment. The puck deflects off his stick. Cizikas, who is already moving that way to challenge Lauzons at the point, sees that the puck is bounced away from them into the neutral zone. He gets a clean breakaway, beats Rask blocker side, his first playoff goal since 2015 or something. I forget. 2017, it's been so many years. They get the win, 4-3 in overtime. And then Bruce did something that I really didn't like. And he said he expects that play to go to the net or go down the wall. I bet when he watches the tape, he's going to kind of go, nah, I just wish he looked before he passed. Marshy, on the other hand, went, look, those fluke plays happen. That happens. The bounces get you sometimes. Bad bounce, that's a good breakaway for them. Look, that goal's not Lauzons' fault. It's his fault, but it's not, come on. I think you got to give him a break on that one. That's tough. And I know everyone's talking about all these. He's allowed 7 goals while he's on the ice, I think, in the 3 games he's played in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure 5 of those are on the penalty kill. So if you really think it's his fault, maybe take him off the penalty kill. Game notes. We're going to the island. 1-1 series. You got to get a win there. You have to get a win there in the first 2. You can't save this till game 6 to try to get a win on the island. We really missed Smith. That line was nowhere near as dominant as it usually was when Smith is on the ice. DeBrusk played, I would give him a C, right? There was some good stuff he did. There was some really nice hustle in the third. He's just not Smith. I was impressed by how much DeBrusk was finishing his checks, though. That was nice. Koolman started well, like I mentioned, and faded throughout. God, he was a non-factor for most of this game, and it's frustrating because I kind of had higher hopes for what he was going to use his speed for, but too many quick plays that he didn't need to make. He didn't have any patience. I think he just had the jitters, you know? I mean, you finally get into a playoff game, a lot at stake. Carlo had some brutal lows, but the hate this guy gets for being a defensive defenseman. People talk about scoring chances against him. Yeah, he doesn't force the puck offensively. He doesn't. But he's a shutdown defenseman. And people that don't think he's good, guys, what are you doing? He is a dying breed in this league. I get it. But he's not a bad player, and I would not get rid of him just to replace him with some plug. Really, the biggest issue, and yes, there's some lucky bounces involved, but if our penalty kill is at their usual 80%, 85% even, then we're going to the island with a 2-0 lead. That's just the way this works sometimes. You hit lows. Our penalty kill needs to get back to doing what they do. Because again, the Islanders don't have a lights out power play. But they've gotten the bounces. They've gotten the chances. That's just the way this game goes sometimes. Okay, and the big one. Rask. Very vocal about how banged up he is and how he has these nagging injuries. And it kind of shows. But it also, a lot of these goals, like, man, those are legitimate goals. I think it's around 60 to 70% of the goals that have gone past him in this playoff run have been deflected at least once. Not a ton you can do about that. All right, guys, it does it for me. Like, comment, subscribe. We're going to go to the island. We're going to take at least one of those games. Let's do this, baby. Go, baby!